Oh,
Oh, see,
we're
just
back.
It's like, you're not done yet. Keep going.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, there's a ghost. Just kidding. It's God. And something likes to take over our tech and turn on our camera. Just like, go, go, go. And it happened, and so we're back.
It happened. The first time it happened was our being cheeky, being
Yeah.
cheeky with the universe. We're sitting here, and she had been talking, and I knew she didn't turn it on because there was nothing there. But I, like every once in a while, you could be like really in tune, and maybe she did reach over, and I didn't notice she did, and I just happened to look up, and it was recording. So I was like, "Did you turn it on?" She's like, "No."
Now it's
and that happens all the time.
Yeah,
that's the third time. It's twice today alone.
Twice today. There's some magic, and we're here to spread the word. And today's episode is all about living authentically, similar to living in alignment. We say this often, and when it comes to doing that, first we'd like to stop and create an intention.
So, because it caught us off guard, welcome to Creating in the Universe. I'm Sandra. This is my co-host,
Leah.
And she's going to do an intention today about being authentic.
Being authentic. So my intention for anyone watching this, past, present, or future, is to know that in your heart that you were born perfect just the way you are, and to live any way that's different, that what feels authentic to you is an illusion, and to know that you as you are is perfect in your whole being. And my intent for you is to show up authentically in all your interactions that you come across today, this week, this month, and for the rest of your life as you in all your beauty and glory, and even whatever else might not be considered beautiful is beautiful in my eyes. So show up authentically, and that is my intent for you. Okay.
All right.
So we often chit-chat about what we're talking about today, and it was inspired. It just came up. Let's talk about authenticity today. And so authenticity matters because anytime I have not been authentic, it's brought me a life that I am not okay with. And the more that I live in authenticity, the more my life reflects beautiful, happy things. And if there's a time that I allow my ego to creep in and prevent myself from speaking authentically, it is a ticking time bomb of something that is going to be broken down so that I may rebuild authentically and in alignment with my highest self, that soul. Because that's really what being authentic is an expression of your soul. So it's you at its core.
So oftentimes in the planet right now, as I got the message, and so it's on my Facebook page. I talk about it often. I've talked about it on a lot of our podcasts. 2024 is about accountability and all the truth coming out. And as you can see on the planet, a lot of truth and stuff is coming out. But a lot of people are taking accountability for things that they've said, done, etc., etc. I'm not sure why that is, why 2024 is the year for that, but I'm embracing it. And I have noticed that it's by showing up and being authentic and saying things that need to be said in my personal life. Yeah, there's been people that have exited, and so be it. And so, but I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the moment of being like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of not saying my truth. Like I've said it before, like I almost want this world to be like that movie, the invention of lying, because in the very beginning of it, it is hilarious how people are so blunt and honest. Now it goes beyond. It's like an over exaggeration of people being truthful and honest, almost like hurtful, but there is something to be said about how authentic and just, where you stand at every moment of the day. And that's nice. It's nice to be there where you're like, you don't have to question anymore. Or, I actually had a memory, and thank you. This just came up. I had a memory, and I know my good friend who watches this, she's going to start laughing. It was embarrassing at the time for everybody involved in the party, but authentically, everyone knows, don't tell Sandra anything you don't want everyone to know about, because I don't hold back. I did have people in my life that have hurt me and caused me pain and done things behind my back, like I'll just say boyfriends or ex-husbands, things like that. You get the gist of where that goes. And so I always said, don't ever tell me anything that you don't want me to just blurt out or say out loud. And I was at this party, and my friend had told me a bunch of information, like, and I didn't know these people at all. She just so happened to be, I was her outlet, I was her ear, and it wasn't purposeful. But
Wasn't
also it
malicious
wasn't
and
malicious in any way. The thing about it is that, as Leah knows, I have a very hard time like holding this back. Like my facial expressions tell a lot. And so we were at this party, everyone was drinking, and then someone said something, and I was like, "Oh, you're so and so," and the guy's like, "Well, I don't know you. Who are you?" Right? And I was like, "Oh, nothing." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no." And it caused this whole party to just like fight, and there was like cursing and swearing, and I was just like, "Oh God!" And my friend's like, "Oh, but she knew it. But again, it goes. That was an episode that we just did, the catalyst, right? Like it's like we just did a previous episode about being co-creating and stuff, and unfortunately, I'm just authentic. And so I didn't mean anything by it. I was just like, oh, all I meant was like, oh, you're that guy. Like, but I didn't mean like that's the guy that's got that and the girl and the guy. And like, I just meant, oh, you're that guy. Cause I did know who he was. Right. But it just, so everyone who knows me knows, don't say anything to Sandra that you're not willing to come out later at some other event. But that's authentically me. And if I don't get invited, oh well. I'm not going to hold things back either, but I'm not going to be malicious and be like, oh, I know about you. I'm not like that. But
I am. I'm just kidding. Give me the tea.
but I am the kind of person that if you have something, don't tell me. If you have something and you want me to hide it, don't tell me.
Unless it's bound by confidentiality and you're working with a client.
That's different. Yes. Professional Sandra versus friend Sandra, a totally different person. Confidentiality is confidentiality. And make sure that you do tell people, I'm telling you this in confidence, because that conversation never happened either. Yes, that was my tea for the day.
Your tea.
Authenticity, being
authenticity. Yeah, you mentioned a comment like about facial expressions and blurting stuff out, and sometimes I am witness of myself taking a step back and being like, what did I just say? It happened so quick. And sometimes, well, often everyone's laughing, but other times it's an interesting situation to be in. But anything that's been considered bad or hard, I mean, the truth comes out whether you like it or not. And in times that I've been inauthentic or had chapters of lying, I went as a teen many years finding an art form and lying to my parents to get out of trouble. And so that was a pattern that I had to change. I feel like I'm running on a tangent here.
No, you're good.
But no, like I actually forget where I was going with this.
Okay, so let me see. So, we have had. I'm not breaking confidentiality. I have personally worked with people who, oftentimes they say, I can't be myself. I can't. If people knew the real me, unless you're Dexter off of,
Yeah.
then you know what, people will accept. And you know what, even for those of you who know who Dexter is, he's on Netflix
HBO.
right now. Yeah, HBO. But anyways, I'm sure there's still people in the world that would accept Dexter for who Dexter is as well, right? So you just stop being afraid of being authentically you.
Which is what I was afraid of, because being authentically me brought up this idea of abandonment. Will they still love me? And so that's, for me, some questions that I find they're getting quieter as I age. But definitely over the years, it's been very loud, this idea of abandonment. And in some cases, yes, abandonment, air quotes, happened. But those friendships were not authentic. They were built upon a lie. Because I wasn't being me, I was being a people pleaser. We could do a whole episode on people pleasing. And so it led to a chapter of crumble. I had to be authentic with my parents. Many people as children go through a chapter of now being an adult and spreading their wings and sharing hard truths with their parents. And sometimes in my own relationships, that did lead to a break, because whether or not my truth was true, that led to hurt feelings that my parents were not into integrating, and a separation of parties. But in that separation, I found just more strength in expressing myself more often. Every time I express myself authentically, it gets easier every time. And if you've been doing this a long time, then hats off to you. And if you have not, then it's a process, and maybe your process is quick, and maybe it's a number of months. Only God knows. It really depends how fast you show up authentically, because some of these relationships I carried over a decade not being authentic. And it required courage on my own part to be authentic, to change things. And sometimes that happened with my drinking or drug intake, because I like weed, and I definitely went through a period of drinking in excess. But when that stopped for me, there's a story that I hear lots of people echo this. My friends didn't want to be around me anymore because I was not drinking. But
Mm.
to drink would not be authentic to me. That would be false. It would be people pleasing. It would be damaging to myself. The repercussions and ripple effect of that would feed over for days. It's not fun doing things because other people, or what you think other people would like you to do.
I know that a couple people have actually reached out and said that they would like to start filming or doing stuff, and they always ask, like, how do you start that? So I'm tying this in because it is a piece of it. So what I say to everyone who wants to start a podcast or just start filming or just like being themselves or just recording something because they feel like they have something important to say, you just start and it's uncomfortable, and then you just record it and you post it and you don't care what other people think. You have to understand that we all have a message to get to some people, and some people have a purpose to help more people, so their stuff gets pushed farther. But everything that you have to say is important to somebody out there. So the authentic piece that's coming through for me is that the more and more I get in front of the camera, the more relaxed I get. Well, if anyone knows me, I am a goofball. And so I do this thing where I ask people to show me their present every day. And I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. And it's just something fun and easy. And I don't have to think anything of it. And my true self, my true authentic self, which is a complete goofball. Like I've even wanted to be like, what's your present today? Stuff like that. But I'm like, no, that's a dorky thing. I can't do that. But that's who I am. I make funny faces. My children say I have a million different laughs for everything on the planet, and they could do SOS codes with with my laughter. Like that's the kind of person I am. And as the more I get to practice, the more authentically me comes out. And actually, the followers just keep growing exponentially. Because why? Because I'm being my true authentic self.
Which brings up one of the quotes that I think inspired today as well. You know how you see these things on your feed come across, and this particular one was, there was a frequency, like when you measure the
Mm.
energy off your body, of love, and that has a frequency. Well, it was even higher. There was one that was higher than love, and it was authenticity. And it serves a purpose, because when you are authentic, people feel it. When I'm sharing on my own social
Mm-hmm.
media, you will not find a pretty coherent newsfeed, at least at this space and time of
2024.
2024 in the spring. You will see me, and sometimes I'm celebrating, and sometimes it's this interesting post of what I'm learning through the hardships of life. And there's medicine in being you. That can be medicine just for you, or like Sandra mentioned, it could be something that somebody else can see in themselves, and it helps their life as well. Authenticity has a lot of medicine, and sometimes it can even be source working through you, God, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
They're connecting. There's this constant connection with source that you might be in tune with just a hair more than the person next to you. And when you're allowing your heart to be shared authentically, there could be these divine messages that come through that are the exact thing that that person needed to hear. But had you not been authentic, bit your tongue and thought, oh no, I don't know if I can say this to this person, even though it's screaming inside to say or do something. Um, you're denying a beautiful co creation experience with the universe and with the person in front of you. And who knows what the ripple effect of that conversation could be. I mean, I've had conversations with Be the Change.
Mm-hmm.
Be the Change was something I saw in grade 6, and ever since then, that's stayed with me. Did the teacher know that I would be the change? Like, did they actually know how much I would carry that in my life? No. But it was probably authentically them to have that giant banner, one of the biggest banners in the whole room, be that quote. That was them being
Mm-hmm.
authentic. So with authenticity,
I just it's like something was coming through and then it left, but that's okay.
I think with authenticity, it's important to know that in my teachings, in sessions with clients, we have our personality, we have our soul quality, that's your highest self, and then you have your ego. And the mixture of your soul and your ego, and you bring it together, makes your personality. And the more that your ego is falling away, maybe through modalities like being you in the universe, our program that we have here, where we use thought amnesia to reprogram thoughts and beliefs so that it's literally something that you have amnesia that you ever even had,
Along with beautiful Leah's
soul and
soul and
chakra
chakra
attunements.
attunements.
We do these techniques so that that soul side of you, your highest self, your most authentic you, shines through, and the ego fades away. Because the more the ego fades away and that soul is expressed, which we do through soul infusion techniques, it allows you to live the life as you, beautiful you. And when you are you, you are living in alignment. And when you are living in alignment,
You're not holding back. I didn't mean to
you are
interrupt you.
co
Yeah.
creating the life that you desire, which ultimately brings whatever you are manifesting, whatever you desire. So be authentic, because you're co-creating with that authenticity in your interactions every single day. The question is, are you creating the life you desire? Are you being the you that you desire in this universe? Or is it time to grab help from individuals like Sandra and I on this program that's either 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months, and work towards authentic you? It's not even a work, it's just being. Just be you. If that's all we have,
That's there was some, but it's faded and then you took over. Meaning like you did what you
yeah,
yeah.
that's
So yeah.
Sandra being very authentic right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not
Right?
gonna force it out because it's
Okay.
just not there. So
And so that's
mm-hmm.
another thing. There's so many people in this world who are forcing or faking, and there is something to be said about faking till you make it. But what about being vulnerable and honest and authentic with, hey, I'm drawing a blank. Hey, I need help. That's also being authentic, because if you're not being authentic with your skill level, I mean, at a job, that could get you in trouble. It, depending on your job, could even cause lives to be seriously injured or hurt. um, there is serious medicine and authenticity of your strengths and also in your weaknesses.
So if you want to be authentic or become more authentically you and take off those shields and stop being afraid to be the beautiful you that is underneath it all, reach out to us, creating you in the universe at gmail.com for our program, or you can find us on all I think we're on every platform. Just message us privately, and um, we're here for you. We're here to
Yeah.
help. We're here to get you your perfect life.
We're here to support you being the change that you desire in this universe. We're here to support you being authentic. If there's anything that would be rounding out, if you've lived a life out of fear of self expression, maybe it's for the reasons of abandonment or all the reasons that prevent us, embarrassment of being you, know that one step at a time, and every inch that you work towards expressing yourself authentically will bring about the life that you desire. I've seen it myself, I've seen it in others. When you let go of what's not working for you, you're going to bring in the life that you desire.
And if anyone knows the power of love, then once like that's the highest power. And then like Leah says, authenticity is one step above that. I mean, that's some power right there.
Authenticity is medicine. Sometimes it's a slap in the face medicine, and sometimes it's the most beautiful gift. Well, either way, it's a gift, but how you interpret it in the moment might feel like a slap in the face. I think that's pretty much it for authenticity.
That's it for me too.
Until next time,
Be blessed.
be blessed.